Hi friends, as always I'm super excited to see you here. If you're meeting for the first time, I'm Shankar Pandey and this is the Dr. USB channel. I host videos on media, communications, statistics and research on this channel. To stay updated with the latest on this channel, I urge you to consider subscribing to the channel. The Media Dependency Theory was introduced by Ball-Rokeach and DeFleur in 1976. Let's find out what is Media Dependency Theory in this video. The crux of the Media Dependency Theory is that the influence of the media is dependent on how dependent are the audience and the social system on the media. The dependency model of mass media effects considers the interaction between the media system, the social system and the audience. Ball-Rokeach and DeFleur's main proposition was that greater the number of social functions performed for an audience by a medium, for example providing information or being a source of entertainment, the greater is the audience's dependency on that medium. In unstable societies where there are situations of social change and conflict, the audience's dependency on the media is greater. Hence, the potential effects of the media on the audience is also greater. There are potentially three types of effects that result from an audience's dependency on the media. They are cognitive, affective, and behavioral. Cognitive effects are changes in an audience's attitudes, beliefs, and values. Affective effects impact our feelings. For example, the development of feelings of fear and anxiety about living in certain areas as a result of overexposure to news reports about violent events in such areas or even health concerns in such areas. An example of behavioral effect is deactivation, where members of an audience refrain from taking certain actions that they would have taken had they not been exposed to certain messages from the media. Not voting in political elections or adopting certain practices may be such an effect. This is a general model of media dependency. The social system might have different levels of stabilities. As we discussed, in situations of conflict, stability would be different. The media system, depending on its position, can be central to the society or it could be performing a number of information function, etc. And the social system and the media system, they influence each other. These systems, on the other hand, influence the audience as well. The audience depends on their degree of dependency on media information, and that leads to the three effects that we spoke of: the cognitive effect, the affective effect, and the behavioral effect. As we can see, the audience impacts the social system and vice versa. The audience impacts the media system and vice versa, and the media system and social systems impact each other. So this is a general dependency model. Ball-Rokeach and DeFleur also developed a process model of how dependency works for individual audience members in relation to media. This is very similar to the uses and gratifications model. This is based on a logical connection between overt media content and the motives for attention. We now discuss this model in detail. So we have established media system dependency relations, and we have specific media content. So in the step 1, we might either have an active selector who actively chooses to consume a specific media content, or there could be a casual observer. This selective exposure is based on one or more type of media dependency. While for the casual observer, either the dependency could be activated, or if no activation of dependencies is there, the audience will exit the system. In step 2, we discuss the intensity of relevant dependencies. So the greater the degree of these dependencies, the greater will be cognitive arousal, for example attention, and affective arousal, for example liking or disliking. In step 3, we see that greater the arousal, that is cognitive arousal and affective arousal, the greater the involvement in information processing by audience members, or they spend greater effort in information processing. Greater the involvement of the audience in information processing, the greater the probability of cognitive effects, affective effects, and behavioral effects from the media. One advantage of the dependency model is that it avoids an all or none position of saying either that the media have no significant impact on people or society, or that the media have an unbounded capacity to manipulate people and society. Many regard it as a contingency model. The dependency model is also more suitable for dealing with sociological questions, as it directs attention to structural conditions and historical circumstances rather than just individual and personality variables. The model suggests that the effects on the audience may also lead to effects on the social system and on the media system itself. Thus, it can happen that experience of media may lead to demands for change or reform of the media. A weakness of the model is that it overstates the real independence of the media system from the social system. It is more likely that a media system will be quite closely associated with the dominant institutions of society. Thanks for staying along, friends. As always, it has been a delight having you here. I'll be back with another video very soon. Till then, have a great time.